Hello again, YouTube. This is Late Game. I am the Long Game Hunter, and we are playing the Banner Saga. In the last episode, we met the twins, Hogan and Mogan, as we fled the town of Skogre, and we ended up having to kill a few of their fellow villagers, because they were trying to keep them. The villagers were trying to keep them from determining their own fate out in the world, throwing in with the refugees as we fled the dredge invasion. And then, Oddleaf, kind of the life of our village's chieftain, put it on us to continue leading the tribe as chieftain, and our daughter, Alette, became the keeper of the banner. I think that's what she wants to talk with us about right now, is to kind of set that in motion, but let's not take my word for it. How are you doing, Odd? I'm alright. Oh, but I realized after I handed you the banner, I probably gave the wrong impression. Most conversations I've had that start like that don't tend to end well. My husband's still in and out of consciousness. It doesn't look good. It's harder than I thought it would be, just not knowing. People tell me I'm a strong woman. It's funny. My father named me Oddleaf before I was even born. He wanted a boy so badly. Strong woman. What does that even mean? I never cared for that expression. It means you're going to be okay. People look up to you. I'd like to think I'm a little more eloquent than that. Maybe the word I'm looking for is verbose. Maybe I'm just more verbose than that. I do like that expression. Well, just because we need more of you in games doesn't mean that's not a loaded phrase. It means you're gonna be okay. That's not being strong. That's just being. If I feel nothing about my husband dying, people think I'm strong. If I cry because my insides feel like they're on fire, I'm weak. Why does that feel so backwards? I'm sorry, Rook. It's been hard. You're not sure what to say. In the many years you've known the chieftain's wife, this is probably the most you've ever talked. You asked me to come find you. Yes, it's about the banner. I thought about it a long time. He asked me to give it to you, if something happened. Why me, your family, you should carry it. What would you have done? Huh? Again, more verbose than that. What would you have done? That's what I've been thinking about so much. It should be mine. I could carry it. But I thought about why he named you. I get it. They won't follow a woman. Families would leave. Our banner would be divided. I think they would follow you. I would vouch for you. You're probably right. Well, I would vouch for you. I don't know if they... I don't want to put that upon them. Some people just don't get women leaders. But at the same time, if that's what I think, then that can't be right. So I would vouch for her. Come on, Rook. This isn't the time for pretend. It's not just about our small town. What happens the first time we need something from another clan? How will that go? And the first time someone thinks they can take advantage of us? I think this is what has to happen. Maybe this is what it means to be a strong woman. I'll do my best. I rely on you. Oh. Yeah, no, maybe this is what it means to be a strong woman. As a woman, there are, like it or not, there are other expectations placed upon you than there would be for a male leader. And sometimes you have to acknowledge those, and that would take strength. Maybe this is what it means to be a strong woman. She looks sideways, eventually giving over a timid smile. I'm not sure if that's the dumbest thing I've heard, or the sweetest. Listen, I know I dragged this out. The truth is, my husband and I could never have a child. I don't want our banner to end here. It'll be safe with you and Alette. I know you're going to take care of her. She puts her hand on your shoulder as she heads back to the camp. The story in this game is really impressive. Let's see. Alright, well, let's take a look, see what we can do with our heroes. If anybody has a promotion that they need. No. 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 Whoop. What about Alette? I don't imagine she has a promotion, but... Okay. Well, no items to deal with. Well, let's take one of these guys off there, put Alette in so that we can give them the time to heal. In fact, let's give them both the time to heal. Well, you know what? No. In case we do run into combat, having somebody at half strength is still better than having no one there at all. Alright. So here's the situation we're in. I gather that we have a couple of weeks worth of travel ahead of us. We got way more non-combatants than combatants, which isn't terrible. I mean, we do have a decent number of combatants. We've got a good amount of renown. We're already 10 days on the road, and we've got 14 days worth of supplies. Now, that's good. I think we can make that stretch, but that really takes... that requires, basically, that nothing go wrong. And this is not a game where that's likely to happen. That said, we are far enough out that maybe a rest could do us... No, you know what? Our morale isn't terrible. Let's just hit the road. Oh, nope, go with their music. Alright. At a small split in the trail, a few fighters stop to speak with you, each carrying a single pack. We recognize this place, one man says. Spent several years here with some kin. If they're still around, we have to warn them of what's coming. With luck, we'll find you again in less than a week. Oh, okay. Alright, so they're off to save friends, or, you know, acquaintances, people they know, maybe even some of them with family. Okay. We wish the fighters well, see them off with extra some, well... Remind everyone that they're free to do as they please. Think you'll survive out there on your own? Well, no. See, we saved Hogan and Mogan with that in mind, so... I kind of want to see them off with supplies, as I imagine we'll do better than they will, but... Well, extra supplies. I imagine... Okay, extra supplies. They're gonna be taking supplies with them. Not giving them extra supplies, we're gonna need those. They're free to do as they please, but we're not giving them extra supplies. Alright, you thank the men for coming to you, but raise your voice for everyone to hear. We all make decisions for ourselves and our families. We're all free to do what we must. Agreement echoes throughout the caravan as the small group of men take their leave. How many? -8 fighters? That's not terrible bad. Frostvellr coming up quick. Right. Maybe I could have given them extra supplies. Okay. Complaints of Raffensvarter's excessive drinking have resurfaced. This time the man stumbled over some tent ropes, pulled the snagged canvas through a campfire, nearly setting a supply wagon aflame. Clansmen put out the fire on both the wagon and Raffensvarter's leg before leading him to you. Oh, man. Setting a supply wagon on aflame. That could mean death for all of us. This man drinks nothing but water from now on. I don't want to punish... Well, punishing him physically might be necessary. I don't want to kick him out. Because this wasn't something that he intended. But at the same time, do I really have the ability to enforce that? Punish him physically. Again, I hate it, but I do have to take kind of a draconic turn, because there's a lot of people counting on me. You're considering your options when Oddleaf appears out of nowhere and doubles him over with a gut shot. Endanger everyone again and you'll get more than a cracked rib, she shouts, leaving in a huff. The others go back to their business, satisfied with the outcome. Alright. Oh boy. Why do I always dread now seeing your name pop up? Dredge! Shouts a man from the back of the caravan. It's Raffensvarter, the unabashed drunk staggering toward you, looking not entirely sober. He screams again, pointing to the trees in the distance. Fear races through the caravan as fighters pull out their weapons. Scouts return with no sightings, and furious men surround Raffensvarter. Okay. Banish the drunkard. He's starting to become not just a pain, but like this is costing us time, and the dredge are gaining. Clansmen deliver justice, and he's drunk again. So clearly, oddly, the punishing him physically didn't do anything. He's gonna banish him. This is strike 3. Yeah, this is strike 3. I'm sorry, you're out. The man's meager belongings and some food are thrown in a pile as everyone moves on. He's tied loosely to a tree. You expect he'll break his bonds eventually once he sobers up. Please, I swear, he pleads to your back, finally realizing his plight. Whether his dredge were imagined or not, you don't expect to see him again. That makes me feel really bad. I really hate that there's a funeral bell that sounds.
A strong, thriving city, the walls of Frostvellr now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against dredge as well.
Yeah. But it's a walled city. That is good news. Hopefully. Why are there tents out here? Why are there tents out here? There are walls over there. You jostle through fallow crowds of sunken faces who appear as though they've been freezing in front of Frostvellr for days. The gates are closed. You come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. This is not looking good. Why are there so many people in the fields? We can't stay outside in the open like this. Oddleaf finds you amongst the many refugees. Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody is being let into the city. Why? It's overrun with Varl from Blotsbalker, Greyhorn, people from Bitra, all the nearby villages. The dredge are everywhere. And the chieftain of Frostvellr has locked himself in his great hall. That's when they close the gates. When the dredge come, these hills will turn red. We have to get in there. Oh, man. Okay, well, we're getting into the walls somehow. I want to know more about what's going on in there. Let's lay low for now and see what happens. Where else could we go? I don't know what to do. Okay. No, well, we did make good time on the road. What's his founder, the drunkard notwithstanding. We can probably afford some time. Let's check out what's going on in there before making any rash decisions. I see a lot of people gathered around the rest houses and the gates. We could find out what they know. How would we get in, anyway? They closed the gate. I can get the gate open. Let's see if there's any other way before we start breaking down gates. Yes, we're gonna need those gates, Ivor. I wasn't going to break it, just push really hard. Sorry about that. That was my cat being extremely insistent. Alright. So, let's see. Go to the gate, the market, the heroes, the rest house. Alright. Well, there's nothing much to look at for our heroes. Let's see what the market has, just in case we need to get out of here in a hurry. Let's see. They've got plenty of supplies, so we can bring a bunch of that. One renown gets 3, so that's good. Sunstone. Let's see. Attacks are never deflected. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Ring of the Wolf protects from death unless strength is 1. Maybe. Aethrafang is plus 3 will per kill. Ooh, so kind of a renewable source of will. I just don't have anybody who can wield it yet. And Charm of the Wandering Mind plus does 20% dodge to strength attacks. Man, all of those are pretty decent. That's really good. That means I can, like, put that on a striker and just go whole hog every time they need to attack anything. Let's just blow the wad on every attack. Problem is, they have to have level 4. Well, let's purchase a bit of supplies. Get ourselves back up to just over 2 weeks worth of supplies. Well, yeah, purchase everything that they have, basically. Everything they have for sale. If I have the opportunity, I could come back for that. Man, that is just so good. Cursed Fang said to fill itself with the blood of its enemies and grant power to those who would keep it full. It's Cursed Fang, though. Okay, if I can pick it up later, I will. But I am not looking forward to putting something cursed on one of my heroes. So, alright, let's see what they have to say. Okay. You spend the whole day at the rest houses. Everyone gives you the same story. The chieftain just shut himself in the Great Hall and closed the gates. There are a lot of wounded people here, adds Alette. We could help them. Eagle pulls you aside. I followed the outside of the city walls, he said, and there's a water passage we could squeeze through, I think. Not the whole caravan, but if a handful of us get in, we might open the gates from the inside. The rest house is overflowing with refugees, the sick and wounded and noise. Okay. Now, it does look like the rest house does have some defenses, not the nice walls that are beyond, but it does have some defenses. They've got the gates closed. It's gotta be for a reason, I would imagine. If it was because they can't handle the refugees, they tell them, right? It's like, look, we can't have you all here, we don't have enough room for you, shuffle on. But that's not what they're doing. Or is their chieftain just kind of a coward? Maybe. Well, they're gonna have to find out. Alright, so check the water passage, tend to the wounded, settle in for the long haul, rest for a day, leave and try something else. Well, let's give them a chance. A bunch of us just showed up. Over 400 of us just showed up. So they're gonna have to address us eventually. So in the meantime, let's tend to the wounded. Alette and Oddleaf spend the day, along with the others, in your caravan treating wounds, most of which came from the archers at the gates. I overheard from one woman that the city has been sending carts with food around, Oddleaf tells you. Well, that's nice. Well, okay, so they can clearly handle the refugees. Could be a way in, Ivor replies. Next time they send a cart, we bring it back in. Oddleaf protests. Aside from leading to a fight, it would probably mean no more food for the refugees. Confront... Oh, that's just begging for trouble. Wait and ambush the next cart. Again, I agree with Oddleaf. She's got a good head on her shoulders. Regardless of her gender. Hell, maybe even because of her gender. Let's see. Leave the food cart alone. Yeah. And they're attacking people. The archers on the walls are attacking people. Wait and confront them. Wait and ambush. Leave it alone. I don't want to get involved if others are going to suffer for it, you say. You return to what you were doing. The rest house is overflowing with refugees, the sick and wounded and noise. Give it another day. This'll be day 2 here. Take the opportunity to rest. The caravan eats, talks with others, and feels a little better in general. Everyone but Ivor, who is anxious about being out in the open. Late in the day, you notice a crowd forming around a man shouting about something. Let's investigate the commotion. The commotion is turning into an angry mob, who are becoming ever more furious about being kept out of the city. You overhear them talking about attacking the archers on the walls and breaking through the gate. Hogan and Mogan join in and fan the rising flames. I won't let my family die in a field like dogs, shouts Hogan. He turns to you. Do this thing, Rook. We need you again. Please don't go. This is not a... We're gonna need those walls, and they're too well defended. There's just gonna be a lot of death. Better we beg you not to stay, says Hogan. We'll not wait out here another day. Despite your protests, they join in the growing mob heading toward the gates. Archers on the city walls don't hesitate to fling arrows at them, and many fall immediately, the rest powerless to do anything to the gates. Soon the disillusioned mob has been scattered, with nothing to show for it but dead bodies, amongst which you spot 2 red tunics filled with arrows. You curse and turn away. Well... Damn it! The rest house is overflowing with refugees, the sick and wounded, and noise. Oh, man. Give it one more day. Day passes without incident. Fantastic, but nothing happens. Check out the water passage. Okay, how's that gonna play out? We check out the water passage, we make it inside the gates. What then? We open the gates and just let everybody in? That's not going to end in a fight? Or we tell somebody about it. They are made aware of a weakness in their gates. That assumes we find somebody. Settle in for the long haul. We're gonna wait it out. After a long day of argument, you all finally agree to digging in with the other refugees if you have to. Are you sure there's no other option? Asks Ivor. Sooner or later, the dredge will come. Probably sooner. All we can do is be ready. You settle in. You're not sure how long, but you know it's the best you can do for now. And they're sending out food carts, so... That's moving on to chapter 3, I suppose. And back to the others. Alright. Well, that was uneventful, except for the fact that we lost Hogan and Mogan. Freaking great that was. Hakon, we're back. I was able to get about as many warriors from Strand as you wanted, and more weapons. Extra supplies, too. Ooh, okay. Okay. You perk up, just now realizing Moger has been talking to you. Since Vognir died, everyone has been looking to you to make the decisions. It's exhausting. Hakon? Okay, so now we're playing this guy. Alright. Heard you. What were you saying? I heard you. I was saying that the Varl we sent to Strand have returned. The governor gave us most of what we wanted. Good enough. Much resistance from the governor? Some. I don't think he was happy about us buying his fighters using his own money. He also insisted we take on a lackey of his to watch over his property. A man named Eirik. Eirik? I met him. He seemed competent enough. Regardless, the governor will have to get over it unless he wants dredge crawling through his streets. We've put down every slag that has wandered through here while you were gone. Enough flapping of mouths, then. You're sure that wound has healed, Luden? I agree. Enough has already gone wrong. If something happens to the prince on a mission of peace, the alliance would rot. Or worse. They're right, Luden. Return to Strand, go home. Luden makes his own decisions. Vognir's dead, there's no reason to stay. Well, yeah. There's no sense in telling a prince, especially a prince like that, what to do. I could give him a reason to leave. That's not the same thing. What do you expect me to do? Go back to my father and tell him one Varl died, so the alliance is over? He has a point. As Vognir's Kendra, you have the same responsibilities, Hakon. We would only be made to do this again later, and I will not suffer it all a second time. Either take us through the wandering road, or do your job and slaughter some dredge. Luden turns abruptly with a scowl. He stamps back to his ring of tents and followers. Wandering road's not an option with this many. I could crush that boy's skull with one hand. If Luden won't be deterred, you'll have to deal with it. Don't let Luden get to you. Let's go. I'm sick of looking at this dump. What do I tell the warriors, Hakon? Slid? Tell them to be cautious, no more losses. Tell them we cover the mountainside and dredge bodies. Tell them we don't stop until Slid is retaken. Tell them we don't stop until Slid is retaken. We've got the people for it. Glad to hear it. Give the word and we'll set off. Or we will in the next episode, at least. So, here we are. Well, you've got a couple of conversations that we'll start the next episode with. A bit of a less... well, no combat in this one, but I think enough still happened So, we're going to leave it there. This has been Late Game. I am the Long Game Hunter, and I will see you in-game.